Now to the battle over your health care. Republican support for the new Senate health care bill doesn't add up to victory just yet. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell wants a vote in 5 days, next Thursday, before Congress leaves Washington for the 4th of July holiday weekend. But he can only afford to lose 2 Republican votes and still pass this bill. Right now, 5 Republican senators, by CNN's count, say they oppose this bill in its current form. 3 more GOP senators say they have concerns. So let's talk it over with CNN's congressional reporter Lauren Fox about where this goes from here. And Lauren, clearly this is a numbers game right now. What do these resisting Republican senators want changed in the bill?
Well, that is the question, and it depends who you ask. If you ask conservatives, they want more Obamacare regulations repealed from this bill. If you ask moderates, they want more money for Medicaid, more money for drug treatment. And I think this is the difficult part for Mitch McConnell. Whatever he gives conservatives could alienate moderates from supporting this bill. So that's the conundrum here. It certainly is a game of math.
And it seems like they're going opposite directions, these two sides
Totally.
that are threatening to withhold their vote or not vote yes as a Republican. Lauren, how serious now about the timeline is McConnell wanting to do this before 4th of July?
He's very serious about this timeline, and I talked to a lot of Republican leaders this week, and they said, you know, this doesn't get better with time. If we're going to get the votes, we're going to get them before Thursday. Otherwise, you know, the longer that this goes on, the more difficult it is. If members go home for the 4th of July recess, and then they come back after hearing from constituents, Mitch McConnell might have an even more difficult time passing this bill. So it's really crucial that in these next 5 days, Mitch McConnell convinces enough Republicans, the magic number again here is 50 Republican members, to support this bill. It doesn't get easier over time.
And I know you've been also tracking how House Republicans are reacting to the Senate bill, because ultimately if there are changes in the Senate, it'll come back to the House. Is the House accepting the current plan that the Senate has come up with?
Well, House conservatives have already expressed some problems with the Senate bill. House Freedom Caucus leader Mark Meadows said earlier this week that he didn't think that the current version of the Senate bill would pass the House of Representatives at this point, but he did say, of course, that this bill may change in the next couple of days. So it's really an open question. Other House Republicans are really trying to stay quiet. They were really frustrated with how involved senators got in their process. They're trying to give them a little bit of breathing room here. So it's really something to be watching, and this bill could change over the next few days.
All right, Lauren Fox, keep us posted. Thank you. President Trump is weighing in as well on health care in this showdown of sorts. The president tweeting, quote, Democrats slam GOP health care proposal as Obamacare premiums and deductibles increased by over 100%. There's the tweet. Remember, keep your doctor, keep your plan. Let's talk it over with CNN political analyst Patrick Healy of the New York Times. And so, Patrick, you know, what is the president's strategy here when he's bringing up this old Obamacare slogan, keep your doctor, and obviously we know what happened? Is he trying to kind of stir up some energy in his base to back the Senate bill, do you think?
That's absolutely right. And he knows, and he's trying to send the message to Republicans that this is what they have campaigned on, run on, had their messaging around for 7 years now, that he is presenting this as this is Republicans' chance to make good on their promises to repeal and replace Obamacare, and that they need to move something to get some, bill down the road, and that for those conservative senators and those moderate senators who are out there, this is their chance. That he's basically saying, we've been talking about this for so long that while you may have sort of side concerns right now, we can hash it out. You can't be like the Democrats who passed some things 7 years ago and are now he's trying to sort of hang around their necks.
Of course, there was so much criticism of the Democrats rushing their vote through, but they actually had months to go over and make changes and discuss and hash it out among senators and go back, and Republicans and House members and all the different players were brought into the process. We just saw what's in this Senate bill like 2 days ago, and they want a vote less than a week later.
That's right. I mean, they are really, you could call it fast-tracking, or you could call it really ramming through, trying to have as little debate and conversation about it as possible. The Democrats, when they put through the Affordable Care Act, they opened up the process to hearings, to amendments from Republicans. They took votes on Republican concerns. They were, I think, sort of genuinely interested to try at least to pick off a few Republican votes. They knew this was going to be a Democratic measure, but they were looking for at least some. Right now, the Republicans in the White House and Congress basically see that block of 48 Democrats as not moving.
They're ignoring them.
Ignoring them entirely. What they're now looking at, though, is trying to figure out how to thread the needle. And Mitch McConnell is a master at this. You know, we're
more
seeing
so
things,
than Paul Ryan, you think?
Paul Ryan took 2 bites of the apple, and we'll see. I mean, I think Lauren is right. McConnell wants this vote by July 4th. He doesn't want members to have to go home and have this hanging over their heads and constituents at town hall meetings, you know, hitting them very hard.
Here's one of the issues. I mean, there are these 5 GOP senators who've come out vocally saying they oppose the bill, as is Mike Lee is one of them. And here's what he says. Conservatives have compromised on not repealing, on spending levels, tax credits, subsidies, corporate bailouts, Medicaid, and the Obamacare regulations. That is on every substantive question in this bill. So he's already trying to set up the battle, saying conservatives have given everything away, and yet moderates are saying, no, this doesn't have enough Medicaid funding. This is going to leave people who are poor or who are elderly or who are sicker high and dry.
Right. This is, I mean, to some extent, this is a replay of what went on in the House. You know, 2 months ago, 3 months ago in the House, you had conservative Republicans who were saying, we want these kind of changes, we want waivers for states. You had moderates in the House who were saying, we want more spending.
Is there anything that could bridge that divide that you see?
Right. I think right now what you could see is McConnell basically saying for the states that are really dependent on Medicaid expansion, that there's going to be some way to say there's some kind of sort of flexibilities or money into the bill that may bring someone like, may get Dean Heller, you know, a Republican senator from Nevada, to a place where he can say Nevadans are going to be protected, that the hundreds of thousands of Nevadans who've come on with health care under the Affordable Care Act will somehow sort of be protected. If he can get to a yes, and that's what it's all about.
And that's a state that has largely benefited from Obamacare. It has largely
benefited. Nevada, Ohio, so Republican Senator Rob Portman in Ohio knows that the Affordable Care Act has helped a lot of people in Ohio who didn't have health care at first. Mitch McConnell needs to get those people to a place where they can at least say, this isn't a perfect bill, it could still change in negotiations with the House, but the people who are getting insurance now, we're looking out for them, are going to be taken care of.
If you were to be a betting man, is it going to happen before 4th of July?
It's going to be very hard. This is going to be Mitch McConnell's probably biggest test yet.
All right, we'll see. Thanks so much, Patrick Healy.
Thanks, Anna.
Nice to see you.